I have to tell you about the first trimester bunker, which is what I've nicknamed it. This is like my tool for surviving pregnancy. During my first trimester, I spent most of my time feeling like I had a really bad case of the flu, like feeling nauseous all the time and feeling just completely awful, exhausted, like I couldn't do anything, feeling anxious, feeling, just really bad. So, anyway, this is kind of what I like to have um, in order to get through this period where I was literally stuck in bed the for like a month and a half. So, I have my purse and a bag over here. The reason I have those are if I have to go out to the doctor or something, they're right there, quick to get. I have my chapstick in my purse somewhere, and I have my nail clippers, so that's good to have on hand. I have a couple of books, just light reading books. I didn't do a ton of reading because I felt like anything was a really unbelievable effort. So normally I read nonstop, and I've just been hardly reading at all. And some informational pamphlets I have. This is my notebook. It used to be an address book, but I keep notes and questions about pregnancy. There's what to expect when you're expecting. There's a first year of life for baby book, so I can get ideas. We have a pan. I don't throw up. The last time I threw up was over a decade ago, probably a decade and a half ago, or more, when I had the stomach flu in high school. But I felt really nauseous most of the time. I was worried I was going to throw up a lot. Sometimes I was convinced I was going to throw up. So I had this pan, and it was there to make me feel better. If I had food wrappers, when I was just kind of like hanging out here, I could put them in there and throw them out when I went downstairs or something. So it was good to have. Sometimes I was like, stay close to me, Pan, in case we can't handle it. But I was able to handle it. Water. I've gotten really sick of water, which is why we have the flavored sugar water thing here. But lots of water. Um, and then Kleenex, of course. Because my nose runs a lot, especially in the winter, and it's very dry, and so I haven't had any nosebleeds, but I've had like blood when I've blown my nose a little bit. Alright, so prenatal vitamins, it's good to have them right here so I can take them, when I'm feeling like it. Sometimes you're just not feeling like taking them. Um, Antacid. Well, Tums or fake Tums or whatever. The nice thing about Tums is that you can take them when you're pregnant. I usually take them if I burp and it feels acidic, just to make me feel a little better in my tummy. This is Brand X Tylenol, basically, because I get headaches and sometimes they're bad. I read an article that was like, maybe Tylenol is linked to ADD, and it's like, so I can choose between being in a lot of pain and feeling really guilty. Well, I don't want to be in extreme pain because sometimes that brings on panic attacks, and I have other medication for panic attacks that I don't want to take. So I have saltines, and I have peanut butter. And actually, there's a knife inside the saltines, in one of the empty saltine bags. Crackers and peanut butter, for a while, that was my go-to food. And pretzels. That's another one where it's just really easy on my stomach. And I have my fig Newtons over here. I got those actually because I was inspired by the point where my baby was the size of a fig, and I was like, I could eat fig Newtons. And I did, and they were good. Right here, since we're at my bed, we have a bunch of hair clips. Those are good because when I'm lying down all day, which I have been, it's good to just be able to shove my hair back. I also have, hidden over here, I have my brush because it gets messy when I shove it back all day. Then we have pillows, of course. We have blankets. This is Kitty Lavender. Kitty Lavender, I just kind of accidentally came upon because I was originally had my pregnancy fort on the sofa in the living room. It was nearer to the kitchen at the time. I was eating bread and cheese, and it was easier to get to the food I could eat. So Kitty Lavender ended up being my pregnancy buddy because she's about the size of a body pillow, and it's comforting to have something that's like a body pillow to lie with when you're lying in bed. Then we have my go-to activity, my tablet. Most of the time while being pregnant, I haven't felt up to like watching a movie, but I'll put on something really light on YouTube. I'll put on something really fluffy on Netflix. Facebook is a good one because people often share things in their newsfeed that's just it doesn't take a lot of concentration. I have some games that are my go-to games. Plants vs. Zombies. Spider, I started playing that and then I switched to 4 suits because the 2 suits, when you play it a lot, were just getting too easy for me. And same thing with Sudoku. This is my favorite version of Sudoku. It just ended up being that I needed to switch to a slightly harder level of puzzle as my go-to puzzle just because I'm spending so much time here. So basically my recommendations for your pregnancy fort or pregnancy bunker: water and an alternative liquid that doesn't need to be refrigerated that you can have when you're really sick of water, a pot or another vessel that you could throw up in. Even if you don't throw up, you don't want to have to run to the bathroom, and you want to have something there for you. Books, both to read and to check up on how your pregnancy is going. The stuff that you need when you have to leave the house, readily available. Food and medicine right here so you don't have to go and get it. Location-wise, and of course, comfort things and distracting things. Location-wise, when I was in the living room for a while, it was nice because it was right next to the kitchen and I could go and get food really easily, which was good especially for things that were refrigerated. Being in the bedroom is nice because I don't have to go upstairs to go to the bathroom. It's right there, but then I have to go downstairs to go get the food. So think about what location is going to serve your needs the best. And you will make it through. Most women, even if your first trimester is as awful as mine has been, will start to feel better around when the second trimester begins. I'm starting to feel better. The only thing is that my gallbladder is having issues, but that's a whole other thing. And just think of what you need in order to be comfortable and in order to take care of yourself so that you can exist through this period. And, I'm sure there are some people watching who are like, my first trimester was fine. I was running around. That's great if that's your experience. That wasn't my experience. So I just had to have everything I needed and have it just there so I could relax. If you have ideas for things that I didn't include, that you would think are really essential for hanging out with your first trimester when you're stuck in bed, you can talk about them. Or if you are maybe on bed rest on a later trimester, you can talk about that too. I am curious and I want to know more. So you can share your story.